So, about the man's best friend album cover, I would have to say I'm surprised she stuck with this album cover with all the controversy that came from it, with the sexual pose that some people viewed as degrading. I'm kind of surprised that she stuck with it, but I'm also not, because Sabrina Carpenter has always been, here's my branding, here's my character, take it, this is me. And so I'm not surprised that she didn't change it, but in the same way, it is kind of surprising to see it still here with people upset about it, not being empowering towards women. I don't even think that's really the primary concern here, because if you view it in the proper lens, you understand the point she's making. But I do think the issue is not really that it's not fit, that it's immoral because of what it does towards women. The real issue is that this is kind of irresponsible given who Carpenter's audience is. I think it's unfit for a lot of her audience, which is children. I mean, probably the three biggest connoisseur groups, demographics of Sabrina Carpenter are women, gay people, and children. That's like that goes for a lot of kind of radio friendly pop music. And so if you want to make music towards them and one of those groups kind of are children, you kind of have an expectation of making stuff that is suitable for that audience, given the care that should be put towards children, given how vulnerable they are. And so, with children being a large connoisseur of radio pop music, and they are because, with video games, you have your ESRB score, and if you're a parent and you're giving your kid a video game, you're going to look for something that's like rated E for everyone, because we have this and you can look at it and you can say, oh yeah, my kid can play this, it's rated E for everyone. You have movies and you can say, oh, this is rated R, my kid can't watch that. Oh, it's rated G, it's rated PG. Oh yeah, that's fine, I'll go watch it with them. We can go watch a movie together. And so we have these systems to know what is sort of said to be fit for your child to consume. With stuff like movies and video games, there's nothing like that with music. And sure, we should ask every parent to know what their child is consuming and make sure it's fit for them. But that's a big ask that is kind of an irrational ask given people's times and the things that they can really take time to really do. There's a reason we have things like ESRB systems or TV ratings or movie ratings. And it's because, we can't expect parents, every single parent, to know every single thing that their child consumes all the time. And so we have a certain expectation that gets put onto creators of stuff. If they're going to make stuff and market it towards children, they should also not push stuff that is disgusting for children to consume. And so, as much as I think Sabrina Carpenter or her fan base would like to push this point away and say, hey, well, it's not her responsibility for if their parents let kids consume something that's bad. It's not her responsibility. I guess in a way that's true, but it also is her responsibility if she's going to, in one way, make music knowing, and I'm sure she knows, she does concerts and she sees who goes to her concerts. If she's going to know that kids are a primary audience of hers, I think it's at least irresponsible in a way to produce an album cover or to do a Juno pose, which is depicting sexual action. Because kids listen to radio pop music. Because if you're a parent and you this gets to the rating system, there's no rating system for music. And so if you're a parent, it's impossible to know every single artist out there and what they talk about and what they do and what their identity is and what their branding is. So you generalize based off of the trusted parameters, which is the radio. The radio is trusted here. If you're going to put your children to listen to something on the radio, you're not going to put on rap for them. A lot of parents won't, because they think it has drugs and sex and killing, which, to their credit, a lot of it does. Or rock music, which does have some of that same stuff, although to a less appraisal in some circumstances. But also, you don't want to play like rock music from the 70s, because a lot of kids want to listen to music from their generation and their time. That's music made for them. And so they go to radio pop is usually what gets played. In some southern or country areas, it's country instead. But for a lot of people, it is radio pop. And so if you're going to make radio-friendly pop music, like you are Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter, Tate McRae, a lot of your audience is going to be children. And that's the way it is. And there's no doubt in my mind that her team is aware of this. And so, with her music being primarily consumed by children, because of the fact that she makes music which children can, on a wide, enjoy, and that's not a knock on her music. I love Sabrina Carpenter's music. She's one of my most streamed artists of all time. I have a CD of hers. I have a poster of hers. That's not a knock. It's not a knock on radio music either. I think children can enjoy great music. That's not like, I know people say that to sort of attack radio friendly pop music. This is not an attack. It's just an admission of what the facts are, which that a lot of children do consume this. And I think it's kind of irresponsible to know that and then to do something like performing a sexual gesture and giving that child that sort of image. I think that's very gross and irresponsible. It's one thing with lyrics because lyrics can be hard to decipher and it goes past so many people's minds. Like, and this has been a thing in pop music for a while where you have sexual lyrics in radio friendly pop music. Like California Girls, has a lot of gross innuendos in there. Like when Snoop Dogg talks about squeezing your buns and then there's a moan right after. But it was fine. I mean, it's some people didn't like it, but it's not the biggest deal because your kid doesn't know what they're talking about, and that's fine. The kid doesn't know what's happening in this album cover either, but it still is priming them for sexual positions, which is irresponsible and gross. And so that's really my problem with this album cover. It's not even much that it's demeaning towards women because I can understand what she's going for, and I understand that taboo things that get people talking are good branding. But I would say I think this is just irresponsible from her team, knowing her audience, to do something like that because she wants to do one thing. She wants to be the new Marilyn Monroe sexual figure, and so she makes music about sex and album covers that are sex. Her artwork and her CDs and vinyls have very revealing clothing, or like I think the vinyl for Short and Sweet has like her butt out. And so she wants to have like a very sexually provocative marketing, but also doesn't do anything to really separate herself from her child audience. She wants to have her branding and who she is as a person and who she is as a figure, while also generating the clicks and streams and numbers of children. And I think that's kind of just irresponsible and frankly a bit immoral. So that's kind of my take on it. I do think it's cool though that it's provocative. Provocative work is fire, but it doesn't mean it's right. Like Nirvana putting a naked child on their album cover is provocative. I probably wouldn't have done that one either. I will say 100%, I would not make that an album cover of my album. I think that's kind of too far. And this is probably an example of, yeah, sure, it's taboo, but given the circumstances, I think it's a bit too far to do something like that. Or the Juno pose or something like that.